All right, well, welcome to our last session, IP session in this training. And it's been a total joy and an honor to be able to share in some of this work with you. So go ahead and take this first moment and arrive in the moment and arrive in your body and of course arrive in your breath. I've been repeating myself over and over again in all these sessions in the saying of catch the breath. So allow yourself to softly but surely catch the breath a few times in a way that really grounds you. So as you're doing that, as always, simply listen as I'm setting our stage for this meditation. Every day, today and every other day, looks upon us with indifference. The day is not asking for our input. It's not telling us to go back to work or to read that next chapter or to make love again or to hold the door open for joy or despair. All days are our audience and we are the performers. And so may we wow the day with the quality of our presence. And we have to choose into this, right? Repetitively. And practice is about that repetitive choosing in to grounded optimism. It's about choosing into our commitments, and that repetition is the edification. It is the living out loud declaration of our devotion to our lives. See if you can deepen the breath in these next few inhalations. Each of you, each of us, all of us are born with an unencumbered spot that is free of expectation, it's free of regret, it's free of ambition or embarrassment, it's free of fear or worry. It is our umbilical cord of grace. It's where each of us were touched by the universe. And it's from this place, the unencumbered spot, that we declare our yes. So breathe into the felt reality of where the unencumbered spot resides in your anatomy. And even if we feel like we're not yet ready, even if we feel like we can't recognize who we are in the rubble of a broken time in our lives, this unencumbered spot is always there for us. And every time we tune into any of these meditative processes, it's a way of creating relationship and even intimacy with this unencumbered spot. So what is greatly tender within us, which can be so many things, right? What is greatly tender within us is, it's of course easily disruptible. And if something is easily disruptible, it can also therefore be easily steered in the direction of our original brilliance and our original autonomy. So going even deeper yet, even deeper still into that spot within yourself. And use this session this afternoon to steer the entire committee of feelings that are within you after this training, to steer them all into this original autonomy and brilliance. And of course, every feeling and every emotion is life force. It is energy in motion to its ultimate destination, which is wakeful, loving awareness. So I'm just going to put a few words from Robin Wall-Kimmerer. A few of us were discussing her yesterday, and I was inspired to bring her into the round for our work today. I'm going to just kind of place them at the center of our table for you to muse upon, and I think that she does a really good job of summing up everything that I just spoke to. And she said, and you know, this is about continually choosing into grounded optimism and honoring the ordinary moments and staying out of numbness so that we can belong to what really matters most to us, right? So Robin said, I love this. She said, even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. Joy is what the earth is giving us daily. So may you use this session to presence into your joy so that you can more fully give the gift. So let's begin with our first moving part. This is a meditation to fight brain fatigue. And it doesn't matter, if you're an employee or a high-level contributor in a busy life science corporation, or it doesn't matter what your role is. In postmodernism, which is what we're navigating now, we're all, because of the technological interface and the information overload, we're all dealing with brain fatigue. The amount of information that we're exposed to in one day's time is equivalent to the amount of information that someone in the 1700s would be exposed to over the course of their entire life. So that's a really good metric to consider when you think about the barrage of information that's hitting our brain all the time. So this is a beautiful way of using our breath and using dynamism in the movement of the body. I'm going to try and sit up a little taller because I see that my hands are just below the level of the screen. So regarding the hands, what you're going to do here is, and I'm simply going to demonstrate with my hands a wee bit higher here at the beginning so that you can see, and then I'll drop them down as we do the thing. So your hands, your elbows will be just relaxed to where they structurally are alongside the ribs. You're going to orient your right palm to face up and your left palm to face down, and then fuse index through pinky fingers together like plates, okay? And have some energization in the way that the fingers are related to each other and the way that they're creating this surface plane, okay? So with the right palm up and then the left palm down, get the feeling of what that feels like to just pancake flip them back and forth, okay, in a rhythmic, repetitive, impactful manner. Okay, so that's happening with the hands. Your gaze is going to be set either at the tip of the nose, or as I've been introducing and offering a lot in this week's work, you could also be looking at the bottom of the chin. Obviously, you're not going to see the chin in the way that you see the tip of the nose, but both are really powerful glandular pressurization gaze points. Okay, so you choose what feels appropriate in your body. So looking here or looking here. And then we're going to work with a powerful brain balancing. All the breathing techniques we'll do today are brain balancing, brain bending breathing techniques. So it's an 8-stroke inhale and an 8-stroke exhale. So it'll sound like this. And then 8 out. Okay, and so that's happening in tandem with the pancake flipping of the hands. So all together, it looks like this. Okay, so try to break the breath into 8 equivalent parts so that your first breath isn't big and your last breath isn't just barely hanging in there, okay? I know it's very difficult, and I always end up having like some striation in my breath differentiations, but just aim for that equality, 8 equal segments in the strokes of breath, okay? So let's try this. And of course, if I stop and talk, you please stay in it until I cue you to stop the meditation. So fuse the fingers, relax the upper arms down so that they're alongside the ribs, have the elbows just naturally relaxed alongside the body, have the forearms out at a right angle. I was saying yesterday that all this stuff in IP is a science of angles and triangles. So we want to make sure that we're creating the structures so that the grids can open up and activate and give us their intelligence. So right palm up, left palm down, looking at the tip of the nose or the bottom of the chin, and make sure that the brain stem is elongated and extended so you're not hanging the head back in any way, which is really commonplace. So tuck the chin in. This is a Jalandhar bond, which helps to create communication in the whole community of the spine. Let's do it. So you're taking 8 in and sending 8 out, creating harmony in the inflow and the outflow of the breath. So every time you pulse the breath, either in or out, include the musculature of your whole abdominal wall. Pulse the abs in, back, and up gently, but efficiently, with each of those 16 strokes that create a cycle of 1. Staying in this, irrigating the organ of your brain with gratefulness, gratitude, gratefulness. When we are in a state of gratefulness, just dissect that word. It means we're full of greatness. When we're grateful, we are occupying our excellence, our capacity to deliver, our genius. When we're grateful, when we're practicing gratitude. So feel yourself as you pull in 8 strokes of inhale versus just 1, as you pull in a plentitude of breath, oxygenated life force. Feel how it's filling you, so that you can use your brain in a real sort of freedom orientation. And freedom, true freedom, is when we use our minds as a vehicle for soul experience and for destiny expression, versus letting our minds get, schlepped through fate, to use it as a vehicle. So brightening the landscape, brightening the interior space of the skull where your brain is. And in doing so, offering yourself a few meaningful moments of no thinking. When we're not thinking, when we're not searching, when we're not comparing, when we're not competing, then what it is that, we are searching for, when we're seeking, it's available when we're not thinking, when we're not in thought. And that's one of the most immediate fruitional grace gifts of all kinds of meditation. So take 1 more cycle, which is 8 in and 8 out. Good. And then bring this practice to a close. A moment of no thinking, even if it's just for this meaningful moment. Feel the breath effortlessly because of the power of how that 8-stroke technique cleared out your inner environment. Feel how easy it is to receive, and how easy it is then thereby to give. So we're going to stay with the same 8 strokes. It's nice to have continuity with the breathing techniques. We'll switch it up towards the end, but we're going to stay with the 8 in and the 8 out. And so this is an earthquake meditation for when we feel like we've lost our ground. So you can actually use this meditation if you have experienced like a trauma, a literal trauma, like an earthquake, because it readjusts the hemispheres of the brain, and it creates a harmony in the intercommunication of the hemispheres. And we can also use this if we just, have experienced some derailer in the order of the day, a quick visit into a quick visit into this can be super recalibrating. So all of these IP, not all of them, but many of these IP meditations are really efficient in that kind of short form. If you're like, oh gosh, I just need to find me in, the mess of this moment, you can elect to dial into just about any of them and they'll work for you. So this one is for, like I said, for creating balance and integrity and intercommunication in the hemispheres of the brain. So you're going to create what's called conch mudra. So it's like you're creating a shell. So it's a cupped hand that's going to go over one ear and have the fingertips of the right hand in this case pointing straight up, okay? And then the fingertips of the left hand, both hands making the same conch mudra. The fingertips of the left hand will be at about a 60-degree diagonal going back, okay? For the ladies, or maybe even for the men on call, I don't know if you have pierced ears, but if you have pierced ears, you may want to remove your earrings so that you don't press the post into the side of your head. So with 8 inhales, you're going to gently, I find this to be an incredibly soothing meditation. You're going to 8 times, you're going to inhale through the nose. And 8 times, exhale out of the nose. So join me. We're tapping on the left side of the head. Obviously, it goes without saying, it's a very gentle tap. Okay, so we're not adding to any disruption, but we're creating just a little bit of a meaningful impact that's creating a balance, okay? So looking at either at the tip of the nose or at the bottom of the chin, and foster the magnetic relationship between the right and the left, readjusting the electromagnetic field. Listening, utilizing the sound that's inside of your own skull, utilizing it and letting it utilize you so that you can harness the power of your mind, and again, to use it as a vehicle, as an instrument for soul experience. Take a couple more. Remember, what strikes the oyster's shell does not disturb the pearl. So you're sending that signal, you're bringing the energy of infinity into the finite form of your body. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So make the mudra with both hands, cup your left ear, fingertips of the left hand going straight up. Orient your right hand so the fingertips are going back at a 60-degree diagonal, and then 8 strokes in and 8 strokes out, looking at either the tip of the nose or the bottom of the chin. Staying in it. Sorry about the grumbling beast in the background. Good. Take one more cycle, 8 in and 8 out. This is about being able to get stable anywhere. No matter what the external conditions are, you can get stable for yourself from within yourself. Good. And then at the completion of that 8th exhale, break the practice, relax your body, have a metabolic moment, and just witness, what happens when you take a moment out of your day to breathe, even for a second, with more awareness, with more presence. Recognize what it means for you and recognize what it's doing for you so much. We're using the breath to blast through the impasses and to either reduce or eliminate the friction in the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind becomes more and more of the change driver. And we want to always be alert to this capacity, in our relationship to our breathing. It's what Don Juan called the sorcerer's way, So I'm going to do another iteration of the brain balancing breath. I'm going to just turn up this music a little bit. So curl the index and middle finger of the right hand in towards the center of the palm, and your right ring finger is going to be responsible for both opening and closing the left nostril, and the right thumb is responsible for opening and closing the right nostril. Okay, so feel that grid, even just plugging the hand into the face. So we're just right underneath the bridge of the nose where your glasses would rest versus being down here at the holes of the nose, okay? So I want you to just oscillate the hands back and forth so that you're alternately opening one nostril at a time. So I'm gonna inhale inhale through the left and then exhale through the right. And it's like doing a breath of fire while oscillating the hand back and forth. So listen and have a look at how I demonstrate this. So that's kind of like a fast time signature. You could do it a little bit more slowly. Every time I exhale, I'm pulling my abs back in and up like we've been doing over and over in the session today. So I'm pulling the abs back in and up, and I'm looking either at the tip of the nose or at the bottom of the chin, okay? So choose either a patiently paced time signature or a more rapid one, whatever feels, or maybe you want to kind of try a little bit of both. So let's give this a try. Seal your right nostril, inhale deep through the left. Let's start all together nice and slow, and then if you want to speed up with me, you can. So inhale left, and then seal the left and exhale out of the right. Inhale left, exhale right. Pull the abs in as you exhale. Inhale left, exhale right. And now just slowly speed it up. Get the abs moving. Delivering the clarity of this practice into the blue pearl in the center of your brain. Feeling its bandwidth expanding, becoming more of like a saturated hue of clarity and presence. The presence that's always present. Last one, and now seal your left nostril with your right ring finger and inhale deep through the right nostril. And exhale through the left, pulling the abs back. Inhale right, exhale as you pull the abs, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left, or slowly speed it up with me. Now moving into the faster time signature. Good. Inhale through both. Hold the breath. Right hand is descended to the lap. Hold the breath. And then exhale out of an open mouth, just very organically and innocently. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. Again, out of an open mouth. You know, it's all of these techniques. They're like bioenergetic hacks for the nervous system. They are psycho-somatic reprogramming for the neurons of the brain, for the emotions, for our attitude, all of the above, all of this breath work, all of these different configurations that we make with our hands and that we set with our gaze and so forth. You know, so if you are depressed or you're distracted or you can't sleep or you're anxious or you're exhausted or all of the above, when you have this tool belt, this integrative practice tool belt, you can right yourself, you know, and that's what I'm talking about when I say it's, you know, it's a bioenergetic hack, like, and you can do it for yourself from within yourself and catalyze rapid balance. That's true power when you can do that. So I want to do one more breathing technique that's similar to where we started on the first evening. So this is in the tongue lock family. On the first evening, I had you fuse the whole surface of the top of your tongue with as much of the roof of the mouth. But for today, we're just honing in on the tip of the tongue, and we're going to curl it back to the midpoint of the soft palate of the mouth. So do that. Okay, and then press the tip of the tongue into the midpoint of the soft palate of the mouth. Okay, so get that feeling. And then I want you to open your mouth all the way. And then I want you to stretch all of your facial muscles as much as you can, please. Okay, so this is one of these meditative iterations that we use when our mind is crazy restless. It's a Control-Alt-Delete into a whole different energetic configuration, okay? We've got 84 different meridians that are on the upper palate of the mouth that have to do with reprogramming the neurons of the brain. Okay, so I'm gonna take 10 closing breaths here in this facial mudra. Please choose the same gaze point that you've been working with for the entire meditation, either the tip of the nose or the bottom of the chin. Okay, so find that place. The hands can be anywhere in the lap. Just allow your hands to be in a balanced design, okay? So inhaling deep through the nose. Hold on to the breath. Exhaling out of the nose. Offering yourself moments of no thought. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Hey. Inhaling. You're at breath 5. Challenge the challenge. If your brain is being reactive, challenge the challenge. You can do it. Can you stretch your face so that the muscles are at maximum fullness. Yes, 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 you can. Inhaling, you should be at around breath 6. And exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. You're almost there. Exhaling. Inhaling. Make sure you haven't popped your eyes out of the stabilization of the gaze. And one more. Take one more. Good. And then break the practice. You know, what gives us that edge, the kind of edge that we want? What gives us an edge in business or creativity or prosperity or ingenuity, you name it? What gives us the edge is having some kind of sovereignty in our ability to launch these psychosomatic shifts for ourselves, so that we're always optimizing our biochemistry, we're optimizing, you know, the inherent power of the human brain. That's what gives us an edge, in addition to, you know, so many other moving parts. But know that for yourself in this work, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So allow yourself to just relax, or maybe even hang the head, and just get into the most comfortable, still upright and alert, but a comfortable, restorative, receiving posture. And remember that you are, and we all are more powerful than we realize. And we have to always be steering our attention towards that highest timeline. We must remember, in the face of our own forgetfulness, that we signed up for this. And I'm not talking about this workshop, right? We signed up for this ride, and that we can handle everything that life is offering us. And so, in that way, we want to ask ourselves, how am I showing up for myself, for my purpose, for my people, for the body of our planet Earth? How am I showing up in the presence of judgment and otherness? How am I showing up with my own longing to be engaged with a life that's more and more fully lived? How can I remember that each relationship that is arising, every set and setting that I find myself in, is created for some kind of healing, some kind of opportunity, some kind of creativity? How can I show up in the reality of the day in a meaningful, impactful way? We're each small pieces of creation, and we're living and participating in two primary mosaics. The first of which is the mosaic of the life that you're creating and living. And creativity is the most proactive antidote for the destructive force of our own resistance. Every time you create in your sphere of capacities, you are disempowering your own resistance. So the first mosaic is the life that we're creating and that we're living in. And then when that mosaic is finished, it will be placed into the greater mosaic of infinity. So just get a visual for the meaning of that. And honor and trust that in this lifetime, in no way Are you a mistake of any kind, that you are whole and that you carry a unique gift into this world just as you already are? Thank you so much. It's been such an honor, such an opportunity to work with you. Sat Nam. Namaste.